It is February already. I can't believe a month has passed, and I want to check in. How was your January? How are you feeling? What's been going on? This episode is perfect for you if you're wanting to set goals, but you seem to lose momentum or lose sight of what you're trying to achieve. So get ready as we go into this episode to help you stay on track for the year ahead. Welcome to the What's Eating You podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, and I'm a psychologist, published author, and public speaker here to educate and validate. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode on the What is Eating You podcast. By the time you'll be listening to this, I'll probably be on a plane to Bali. I am so not prepared at the time that I'm recording this, but what does prepared even mean? Actually, I booked my accommodation. I have not packed, which is fine. I usually pack the day or before because packing takes so long. And I feel the more and more I travel, the more I learn and get from this. But I do need to do my online visa and my declaration form. Thanks for the reminder. That's why I love this podcast. It's almost like my own therapy. I get to speak about what's happening in my mind out loud. Now, because it is February, which came out of nowhere, by the way, did anyone else feel that it was Feb 1st and you were thinking, what? Well, I sure did, because February is a huge month for me. It is my birthday, February 26th. Such a good month. Shout out to my Feb friends. And as we go into February, we start to lose sight of our goals as we further journey along into the year, or we say we made New Year's resolutions. Many people just start to forget what it is. Now, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I believe in setting goals and intentions. But anyways, the point is that many people start to just get into that cycle. They're back at work, they're back into the hustle and grind, and they forget of all the intentions they set or what they're working on because they become so busy. Now, I found the secret to maintain your own goal progress and momentum throughout the entire year is to do what's called a monthly review. So a monthly review is just reviewing the month, and it's not complicated, it's not hard, and you can do this in 5 minutes. So grab a pen and paper as we go into how to do a review, and let's just check in on where you are. And if you continue to listen to this podcast for the year, I'm going to help you and hold you accountable of this. So the first thing we want to do is just identify what is a goal review, what is a monthly review. It is just a recurring process that we want to do monthly where we evaluate and reflect on our current goal progress, and we set up a realistic plan to further our progress and complete any goals. So you can do these reviews weekly, monthly, quarterly, and so on. I do a daily one. So at the end of each day, I say, what am I proud of today and what am I grateful for? So that's like my mini daytime check-in. And then at the end of the week, I just say to myself, what went well this week? What was challenging? And I'll usually share that with my partner or with a friend. It's not a real formal process, but the monthly review is a bit more formal. The first thing I would suggest is getting a review buddy to do this with. So I've scheduled a Zoom later this evening with my girlfriend. I do need to move it because I have a dentist appointment, teeth health. But I will usually schedule it in at the end of the month with someone to just review our month together as friends. You can do this with your sister, your mother, your brother, your uncle, whoever you want your goal buddy to be, even an accountability group. So in Food Freedom, we set goals for the program for the 12 weeks. We write these goals down because research shows that goals that are written down are more likely to achieve. Step 1 is we're going to review January. So grab a pen and paper. I want you to say, what went well in January? What did you like about January? Tell me a little bit about that month. For me, because I love to share on the podcast, because I really appreciate those who listen to me, so you get a little bit more extra, I think that work went really well for me. I feel that I worked really hard this month. I have a few different projects on the go, and there was a lot of ADHD work that I was focusing on, and I really pushed myself this month. So I definitely feel I'm working a lot harder this January compared to last January. It was last January when I moved to the Gold Coast. Yeah, it was. So a lot was up in the air. I was finding a new apartment, figuring out where to live, trying to just set things up, find a gym. It was a bit more hectic. So I think this year that I'm more settled, work's been really good in January. What was a challenge for January for me? Good question. I think a challenge has been what I'm going to do with my accommodation this year. I do have quite a lot of travel booked for work. And what that means is I'm going to be away for a period of time. And I don't really want to be paying all this rent in the Gold Coast when I'm not here. So we're just tossing up whether we go to Melbourne between our trips, whether we Airbnb it. But this year my theme was abundance and adventure. So that definitely fulfills the adventure part. So I think a challenge is just figuring out where I'm going to stay, what I'm going to do with accommodation, because the lease is up here in March. So I'm literally going to be flying back from Bali, moving out and not knowing where I'm going next. So #adventure. That's what went well. That's what was challenging. And then I want you to ask yourself, what went well in January? What was challenging in January? Anything that you learned about yourself in January or any lessons that came your way? I definitely think there was 2 for me. I think for me, what I learned was what I already know, which is sometimes I can take on too many things at once and I spread myself too thin instead of going deep and hard on one thing. And so there was something I wanted to do with ADHD, which I don't think I'm going to do at this stage. I'm going to put that on hold because I really want to put all my energy and focus into food freedom. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It is such a good program. And it just has the potential to reach so many more women. But I give individual weekly feedback and there's only a certain amount of people who can do this program. So I am trying to work on scaling that because I love it. So I think letting go of another thing, another project is definitely a positive step. It's a big lesson for me as well. And it's hard to do, but I'm proud of that. So what is it for you? What did you learn about yourself in January? Or what's a lesson that you learned? This could be something personal. It could be something private. And anything else that happened in Jan that you want to report about. What was good? I think my relationship took another level when we started training together at the gym. We've been training together since December 31st, so New Year's Eve, and I've really stuck with that, which means I've been getting up earlier, which means I've been going to bed earlier. So my January goals this year, one of them was to stop late night scrolling, be off my phone and be in bed by 9, and I can successfully say I achieved that in January. I probably had 3 relapses or lapses. A relapse is when you go right back to the beginning. A lapse is just a once off. So I definitely had maybe 3 nights out of the month. So I'm really proud of that. My other goal was to get a podcast editor, which I did. And yeah, I think overall it was a really good start to the year. I'm feeling good about it. Let me know how you're feeling. How was your year? Feel free to reach out and let me know. But that's the first thing, is we want to reflect on the month that has just passed. So well done on making it through to Jan. Well done on getting to February. Amazing. Now, why do this? What's the point of this? Some people may be thinking, oh, this is like nerdy, this is daggy, this is weird. I don't really do this. It's really beneficial. It's so beneficial. When you do these reviews, it helps you develop your awareness around your life. Many people just live day to day. They're just in the grind of their job and you're just going with the motions. But by constantly reviewing and checking in, you are increasing your awareness about your life. The second benefit is it can inspire you and motivate you to follow through with your goals. I've had this piece of paper on my desk every day that says what I'm meant to complete in the first 30 days of the year. And I did this with my friend who I was going to speak to tonight. And I knew she was going to hold me accountable. I knew she said, Steph, when we meet in 30 days, either you've done this or you're going to be like, nah, I got lazy, I didn't do it, or it just didn't happen. And that's okay. Knowing I was going to see her and speak to her really motivated and inspired me to do it because I was being held accountable by someone else. The other benefit of these reviews is it allows you to modify your short and long-term goals. So there was something I wanted to do within these 30 days, but I realized before I do that, there's a lot of other little mini steps that need to happen. For example, it was a type of marketing that I was going to begin, but I realized I don't want to go full throttle with the marketing when I want to fix some of the back end stuff on my end to make it more easy to use. Right. So there are the benefits. There's so many more, but there are some of them. A review can be done once a month, once a quarter. It depends on what it is. Now we're going to look into February. Now, February is a short month. It is 30 days, has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. I believe it's 28 days, unless it's a leap year. I'm not sure if this year is a leap year, but do you know what? Let's just say we got 28 days. Minus whatever days you're listening to this in is what we have. So I'm going to say 4 weeks. We have 4 weeks. So over the next 4 weeks, what do you want to maintain? What did you do in January that really served you that you want to maintain doing? For me, I really want to maintain having structure in my training. So I've been doing my weight training. I've been logging my weights. I've been following my partner's program. I don't even know if it's the best for me, but I've been following a program, and I know that always benefits me in the gym. The next thing I want to continue and bring with me into February is the early morning rising and the early going to bed with no scrolling. That's been astronomical for my health and mindset and energy, so I want to keep that in. So that's the first thing. What are you going to continue to do? What do you want to bring in? Maybe it's maintaining positive habits with your relationship with food. Maybe it's maintaining a new gym program that you've started. Maybe it's maintaining therapy. So think about, what do I want to bring in from this month into Feb? Next, what are my goals for the next 30 days? And it's absolutely okay if these are the same as last month's goals. If you need a bit more time, that's absolutely okay. So for me, February is going to be about automating everything. I really am upgrading to an automation system, a new marketing system, and I'm excited for that because automation is the key. I love when things are automated, when they're easy, when it makes sense. So when you get newsletters from me, I'm like manually typing them. So I really just want to have a system that's automated and easy because it makes your life easy. You don't have to chase me up and be like, Steph, did you send that email? Or, hey, Steph, I'm just looking for this link. I just want to refine everything that I have at the moment. February is going to be refining month and automation month. I'm not going to set too many hectic goals. January, I did have a lot because I had less on, but this month I am going to be away for 3 weeks of the year. I am going to be in Bali for 3 weeks. I'm not going to set too many goals. I'm just going to set the automation goal. And also, I really want to look into running my own event, retreat. I don't really like the word retreat, but my own event at the end of this year or early next year. It just depends. So I'm going to spend February doing research on that. There we go. Set my goals for Feb. What are yours? What do you want to achieve in February? How will you know when you have achieved it? And how will you feel when you have achieved it? The third thing I want to give you are some pro tips on how to also do this and how to track it. I love to write in the notes of my phone and have my goals in there. And I usually have someone in that note as well. So you can add collaborators in. But what I've noticed is having it somewhere you can see every day really makes a difference. So I printed out my 90-day blueprint and I had my 30 days and it's been on my desk every day. So when I've been sitting down, I'm like, what am I doing? What am I working on next? I just grab this sheet and I'm like, have you done this? No? Okay, I work towards that. So print it out and have it somewhere you can see every day. A lot of people will have it as the background of their phone or set reminders for it. So that's the first thing. Print out what you want to happen, put it near you. The second thing is schedule it in. Whatever it is you want to achieve, pre-schedule it. If you want to be someone who does consistent exercise, you schedule in your exercise on your calendar. So every day at 7, 8, 9, whenever it is. If you want to do your tax, schedule in a time to do that. What gets scheduled gets done. And don't forget to chat about it regularly. Research shows that people who speak about their goals or who speak about what they are doing and working on are more likely to achieve it. So don't be afraid to share with other people. I conscientiously make I make a real point of this. So when I see people and they're like, hey, how are you going? I use that as an opportunity to affirm my goals and what I'm working on. And the more I say it, the less scary it becomes. So for example, when I was writing my book, that was the talk of the week for everyone and everything. Oh, I'm writing a book. I'm finishing my book. I'm publishing my book. And I said it and said it and said it because it makes it more of a reality. Tell people I'm working on my exposure at the moment. I'm working on my body confidence. I'm working on my anxiety. My goal is to be able to go and speak to a stranger at the store. Speak about your goals out loud. Just make sure that the people around you are supportive and you feel safe. That's why I do this podcast, because I feel it holds me accountable. It holds me accountable to my own goals of what I'm telling you. So I hope this has been useful. In summary, remember, every month, set a reminder in your phone called Monthly Review. Set it on the 1st or 2nd of the month. Take time to sit down or chat with a friend or go for a walk. What went well this month? What was a challenge? What do you want to bring into this month? What goals do you want to happen? Next, you're going to write them down and you're going to print them out where you can see them every single day. And then you're going to schedule a time to talk about it at the end of the month. So our next review, this next podcast, will come out at about March. And I'll be reflecting on my February. So my goals in Feb: have a really good birthday. Enjoy it. Enjoy Bali. Also set myself up over there, set my work up for the year, and just take it the month at a time. Automate my systems. And I think that's what my goals are. I'm going to write them down now that I've done this. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Really exciting. We now have the podcast submission form. So if you go into the show notes, you can now submit a question, a query, a dilemma, a story, and I will share it on the show with confidentiality, of course, and consent, and I'll answer it for you. So if you enjoyed this little goal setting session, let me know. I know it's different from the typical psychology and eating disorder and ADHD stuff, but I like to mix it up. So if you like variety in the podcast, please give me feedback. You can give me feedback on the link as well, or just let me know on Instagram. I hope you have an amazing week ahead. Remember, you are doing so well. Take pride in how far you've come, but have faith in how far you can go. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I am truly grateful for you being here. If you got something out of today's show, please take a moment to leave a rating or review. To access more resources or support, check out the show notes below. See you next time.